Greetings, Dapplings, and welcome back to a new episode of Captain of Industry. Hopefully you can forgive the sneak peek you're getting of what goes on in today's episode, for 'tis I, future Aavak, here to share with you some awesome news before I hand things back off to my past self to build all of the things you can see before you. And what is this awesome news, you might be asking? Well, as some of you may have already spotted before dropping in to check out the video, over in the community section, I've made a post congratulating 4 random Dapplings who have each won a beta key. The developers, enamored with the awesome positivity and general excitement for the game amongst the community, have given me a fresh batch of keys to give away. This will unlock both beta and, moving forward, the full release once that rolls around. But I figured that the best way to kick off this giveaway would be to celebrate the same positivity by checking back through the comments on the first video and picking out some of the loveliest. So congratulations to, and I'm going to say this wrong, so please forgive me, Brovakeen Dover, Mads Martin Madsen, John Stash, and Viper00900. And thank you for the lovely comments. Head on over to the community tab and check out the post I've made for details on how to redeem the keys. But those aren't the only keys I have to give away, so I'll be releasing them here and there over the next few days in all sorts of places. I advise you to keep your eyes peeled, both here on YouTube and elsewhere, such as over on my Twitch channel and my social media. But for now, with all of that said and done, let's get back to today's episode. And we're back to a colony that I suddenly realised we haven't taken the time to name. Drop me suggestions down below, and perhaps we will have a fitting name for our colony, which will, for the time being, continue to be unnamed. But welcome back. Now, in the last episode, we set up a couple of things that are actually still building right now. Chief amongst them, we have now got irrigated farms, and we are in the process of irrigating them. As we can see there, a truck just delivered some water. Now, in this episode, we've got a couple of jobs to do, but 3 main ones stand out to me. Chief amongst them, advanced diesel. I would really very much like to, actually, let's pause that there because we've got an exploration, but I would very much like to get advanced diesel set up in at least the humblest, smallest scale, just to take the pressure off our other diesel production, which honestly is not particularly efficient. Secondly, I would like to get a 3rd farm. Now, we are almost done with the work of clearing out this area, ready to start actually laying down some dirt there. Where we're going to get the dirt from, I'm not yet sure. The 3rd job that I would like to get to is to set up some basic steam energy production. The reason why I feel that steam is the more solid way to go over the diesel generators, which are a very good early game option, is that steam can reclaim so much of its waste resource and plow that back into producing energy again that it becomes highly efficient because of the kind of the reclamation cycle. As a straight comparison, I believe that a couple of people mentioned in the comments that diesel generators are actually more efficient in just a flat comparison, but when you factor in all of the different ways that you can reclaim from the steam and get that water back and put it back into the system, I feel that steam comes out on top, though I haven't done the math, and at some point I will probably do so if someone else doesn't get there before me. Now, a kind of sub-goal, and something I've only just considered, is that we now have access to this plateau up here. I would very much like to turn this into our water source. If we could gather as much water from rainwater as we could and then just kind of top that up with groundwater, that would be fantastic. And to that end, I think we're going to add in all of the trees up here to be chopped down. Now, that's going to be an awful lot of work that will take quite a bit of time to do, but I think we're up to the task. Now, with those 3/4 jobs ahead of us, let's get things rolling. We've got some rubber, got some copper, and 17 more pops. Fantastic. Now, is that one of the last places that we can get to? I think it almost may be. I think we might be able to reach that one, but we'll have to see. Alright, so let's unpause things there. Now, as we've seen, this area is, well, it's going quite well, honestly. But we need to improve the logistics of our mining operations. Honestly, that's probably one of the biggest things that's holding us back right now. Really, really holding us back. So let's start, as we mean, to go on. So first and foremost, since we've got advanced logistics, let's go ahead and get these built. Now, have we got enough material? We don't have enough materials to build these, really. Oh, well, I guess we have built a lot of pipes recently, and we have upgraded a couple of things. Okay, well, given that then, and seeing that these are running flat out, I'm going to do a thing. First and foremost, I'm going to boost this. Secondly, I am going to prioritize output to O. There we go. And we are going to upgrade you as quickly as we possibly can. It looks like you can actually work whilst being upgraded, which is amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place down a job for that one. Now, over here, I believe this is one of the only places that we're actually currently dumping items. Yes, it is. So let's go ahead and take care of this. Make sure that we don't run out of room to dump things off. Honestly, that's probably one of the biggest problems that I run into. That ironically, you'd think it would be something like running out of fuel or running out of maintenance. Honestly, more often than not while playing this game, I run out of food and or maintenance because my mines stop working. And my mines stop, sorry, the smelter stopped working. And the smelter stopped working because the mines stopped being dug. And the mines stopped being dug because I've forgotten to give them somewhere to dump the stuff that they don't want to keep. That has, in my experience in Captain of Industry, been the #1 reason why my economy has ground to a halt, and usually because of either fuel or maintenance is missing, and the whole chain is backed up right to the humble dump truck. Keep an eye on your dump trucks, peeps. Trust me, you will thank me later for this advice. Right, hopefully we can get plenty of these made. Now, I have got a couple of things up and running. Yeah, well, let's prioritize this one as well. But I do want that one taken care of not long after. The only reason I want to prioritize this right now is because, honestly, this is going to so dramatically improve our production of coal. And that is a big, big thing for us right now. Right, you have finished. Well done indeed. Okay, well, we don't need anyone working here then. You can all head off, and actually, I would like you to come help out over here. In fact, you go ahead and help there. We'll quickly get through this, and once that's done, let's go ahead and set up the next area then. So we're going to want to rotate this such that we dig down, and let's dig down here, and I'm going to say probably over on this side as well. Simply because I want to make sure that I can... it's going to be a little bit weird there. I want to make sure that I do capture the area properly in regards to the... Make sure there's no stone available, because I'm fairly certain, judging by the distance of this, we're more or less going to have to completely empty out this area. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Let's get all of that done there, all the way over to here. Not going to worry about that because there's clearly green soil there, but we're also going to need a place for the dirt to be dropped. We don't really want you to start doing that without any warning. So let me grab a place to put the dirt then as well. Let's pop that one here for now. I'm going to make that one a priority too. And finally, I'm actually going to give this place its own mine control. Eventually, I'm going to want an excavator to take out that little lump there. But for now, the main reason I'm putting this here is that I can control what's allowed to be dumped. I do not want dirt being dumped. Dirt is no longer on the dump menu. No, no, no. Oops, that was... don't dump anything there, please. There we go. Let's get... Well, honestly, if I don't make a priority, it's just not going to get done. But we have managed to finish this. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and upgrade you as well. And we're seeing a lot of these materials now. This one can produce 4 construction parts every 10 seconds. This one is 15, even with the boost. That is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to allow them to continue working on that for the time being. Right, there we go. We've got place for dirt. Let's set that up. Dirt. And I want this to be kept full. Just go ahead, fill it up for now. As dirt is collected, it should go there, and once it goes there, it shouldn't be taken out because I've told it to be kept full. That's another way of making sure this happens. But later on, I am going to want to allow them to take from there, simply because I'm going to want them to be able to place it back down here. And for that to be done safely, I am going to need the mine control tower over there to take care of this. But we now have a place for coal, so let's go ahead, set up some coal. I do not want any exporting going on here, and in fact I want this one It doesn't really matter what we set up there, but I do want exporting from here, and I want it to be exported from there. I love the fact that this now tells us that the amount that will require. Now, I would like you to go ahead, connect up there. There we go. Everything is now done, and the coal trucks here are going to be significantly more efficient, to the point that we do not need 3. We simply don't. The coal trucks right now are going to be able to... They've got such a short route, they can just dump the coal off here. No external source of coal will be placed here, because this is now controlled solely by this mine control tower. This will immediately push the coal into this silo, from which no coal can be placed, but coal can be extracted. So effectively, I've taken the delivery burden for every external consumer of coal off of the trucks which support the excavator for our coal mine. Sorry about that, a little bit distracted. That was an alarm telling me that I need to go and give Siri her meds. Ah, glorious. So on that note, and since we've got a good couple of projects yet to go, and a little while yet to go with the research, I'm going to step away. I'm going to go and give my ferret her medicine, and I shall be right back when we're ready to continue. And welcome back. It is the 4th of January, 0032, and we've actually managed to get quite a lot of work done in your absence. Now, while we're on the topic, I'm just going to pop a boost in here. I've noticed that a couple of times this is run completely dry recently. This one is generally fairly full, and that is by design. We're prioritizing fuel for our vehicles, but I do want to make sure that there's a decent amount of fuel available for the diesel engines, at least for the time being. As you can see, we have completed advanced diesel, so we're going to be working on that moving forward. But just to recap what we've done, each mine now has a dedicated drop-off for the most common items that it's going to collect. Dirt isn't being gathered, that can all be taken over here. Same for iron over here, rock and iron ore. On that note, do we need this many vehicles? No, we do not. We only need 1 extra over the amount of excavators. That's the number that we're going to be going for now. And again, rock and copper up here as well. Now, that is putting all of the effort now on making sure that things move away from the mines and get to where they need to be, onto our logistics fleet, which is struggling a little bit. So I've also queued up a couple of extra vehicles to be manufactured. Now, with that done, one bit of exciting news is that we're almost complete over here by the looks of it. Let's have a quick peek. Yes, we're actually doing very, very well. I'm extremely pleased with this. Right, let's take that away for now then. We're not going to start the filling in process until the entire area is dug out. Otherwise, we're just going to get our excavation vehicles completely and utterly trapped, and that would be no good to anyone. However, with that said, where are we going to get the dirt from in order to fill this in? Well, my plan is probably to work on something equivalent to a road, in a way. Now, we're not really going to lay roads, but this is something you can do. There is no real distinction between the speed that vehicles move on dirt or on rock, as far as I've seen. Perhaps there actually is. Do let me know in the comments if you believe that to be the case. But we're going to lay a little, or rather strip the soil off the top area around here, replace that with rock, and it'll create a bit of a straight path, and we'll connect it up here. That should give us ample dirt to lay in here. In fact, that'll be far, far more of a job than we actually need for this little area, so we'll probably do it in small sections until this is filled in. That is going to be the focus there. But we do now need to have a look at setting up the advanced diesel. That being said, I am noticing a rather shocking lack of something in our research queue. Oh dear me, we haven't got cargo depots. Well then. We're currently working on a mechanical power storage, which is nice to have. We're actually reasonably far along with that. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll set up the cargo depot to be done after that. But for now, we can focus instead on building in the advanced diesel. So, the first thing we're going to need is a distillation... Well, actually, no, the first thing we're going to need is a boiler. And again, can we just take a moment to appreciate the amazing work the devs have done on laying out all of the items in a logical place now. Whereas before it was more or less you would find the icon in the industry that first discovered it, which would sometimes lead to confusion. But now it made the most sense to look for the boiler with water, because that's the water extraction and processing. What does a boiler do? It boils water, so it makes sense that that's where I'd find it. I mean, obviously you could use a boiler for boiling other things, but realistically, for our purposes, a boiler live here. Now then, how are we going to sort this out? We're going to need water. We're going to need coal. This is going to produce 8 steam every 10 seconds. Let's have a look at how quickly this is going to be required. Every 10 seconds we're going to need 1 steam for the distillation stage. That requires 8 crude oil as well, and produces 8 medium oil, 4 heavy oil, and 4 sour water. The distillation stage 2 requires the 8 heavy oil, medium oil, and 1 steam every 20 seconds. So realistically, we're going to need 1.5 steam every 10 seconds. That means that this boiler is not going to be running very hard. To that, or rather because of that, I think we're probably going to be safe trucking in the water for now. I don't think this is going to be a long-term solution, though. That said, let's set this up somewhere around here, but before we do, I think it's high time that I plan for the future. We're going to place in a little vehicle ramp, because I suspect we're going to be pulling water at some point from here. I strongly intend to remove all of these and replace them with extra city areas eventually, and the water will come down from a main water gathering setup up here. But in that instance, we would probably have the piping running behind the farms and still come down to the boiler around here somewhere. So having this in place now is just going to save us problems later on, I think. Now, do we need a couple of extra vehicles, perhaps? Well, we're seeing decently large queues, although we are seeing a couple of idle vehicles. That's a bit of an interesting one. But I think, yes, let's go ahead and we'll pop down another 3 trucks. Let's get those going. Each one of these will require 1 person to man it. So it is going to, or actually, is that number of workers needed? No, that's for the building. I was thinking then, have I ever actually looked? But I'm fairly certain each truck needs 1 person, not 2. So we'll get that all set up. We've got a little bit of wiggle room on the population, but not as much as I would perhaps like. We are going to need to expand things out. But with that said and done, let's go ahead and pop down our boiler. The boiler will live somewhere, I'm thinking, around here, and we'll pop the steam out going forward. I'm just going to drop a pause there. There is a planning mode in the game now, which you can use to lay down all of your plans without things moving around, but I actually prefer to just use the simple old pause function for that. Right now, anyway. Perhaps at some point I'll switch over. We'll have the solid storage there for the coal, and then we're going to want U-shaped conveyor. Actually, just to be certain, and because I love the feature, we'll just click on these and it'll give me the right type of delivery system. There we go, nice and easy. This one will be set up to accept water only and should be kept full. This one will be set up to accept coal only and should be kept full. Now, as far as the diesel production, are any of these things we would burn off? No, we wouldn't burn anything off from these just yet. For the time being, they're not something that we would need to worry about. But later on, we are going to have things that we might want to exhaust, but I'll build a separate stack for that as and when the need arises. Just to keep things nice and simple, I am actually going to just plug that one straight in the side there. That should be fine. Right, now, as for the diesel, obviously we can run multiple sets of these. One leads into the other in a very convenient way, but we are going to end up with 4 sour water and 4 heavy oil and 4 light oil as byproducts that I have nowhere to use these on. That is a deeply dissatisfying scenario for us to be in right now. I guess we're just going to have to pump all of that out into 2 separate flare stacks, and the sour water is going to have to just be dumped into the ocean. Right now, I mean, it's certainly not ideal, but it is all that we can do. Right, so let's set these up. We're going to want delivery of steam. Let's see. The medium oil is what we're going to want moving forward. So if I were to place this something like so, and then another one just across the side, something like so, this will probably work for us. Now I'm going to want to have a storage for the oil, and we can pop that down here if we would like, and I don't see any reason not to have it lined up. There we go. This one will just be for crude oil. There we go. No exports on any of these. I should have expressly said that already. And keep full. There we are. Right, now with that done, these will take 2 steam, but we are also going to need steam a little bit further on. So first I'm going to lay down these buildings, and then I'm going to pop down the actual piping. Now I think I've left enough room, hopefully. We'll see if my intuition is right there or not. Now, as for sour water, since that's only something that we generate down here, and since these connect up, actually, first we'll connect the obvious ones that can go straight into one another. There we go. Sour water is a waste product, so we're going to bring that up to here and along. Actually, we're going to need the place where we're going to put that first. So let's go ahead and set that up. We will need waste treatment once again. I really hate using a liquid dump, but it is what it is for now. We'll place this one just down here. I think much like the other liquid dump, we'll also have a... Oh, we could? Really? We can dump... No. We can store medium oil, heavy oil, and light oil in these. I was thinking for a second that was implying that I could just dump it out into the ocean. I was like, that's incredibly cruel. I mean, you know, dumping the sour water or you know, heavily processed brine is bad enough, but just straight up dumping out oil into the water, that's I think that's a step too far. I don't think I'm going to be able to square that away with my conscience, I'm afraid. Or perhaps I shouldn't be afraid. Perhaps I should feel good about that. Right, let's bring this all the way down. Now, if I want to allow for traffic to go underneath, I could give it a little bit of a boost there. And then back down. There we go. It's a bit of a weird one to add in. In fact, I really do need to get into the habit of allowing for more high delivery systems. Because I am really not doing this enough. There is no reason why I'm not using elevated pipes. Well, actually there is a reason. It just doesn't look good, and that's my reason. But there we go. That's all sorted. I'm going to need the steam moving straight down, I think. Well, that will make it a little bit of an awkward one to pass. Actually, we could have steam move along here and connect up. That should work, and that still gives me room for the heavy oil. That needs to go to a flare stack. Now, I feel that a flare stack for each component is going to be the wiser course of action here. Simply because if I don't do this, I am going to run the risk of them getting clogged. And I'd rather not have that risk if it is at all possible to avoid. That being said, let's bring this out here. Oh, that is not quite what I wanted to do. Okay, let's dial that one back. There we go. We want this to come out here, probably to about there. 3 tall. Can 3 tall make it through? No, it's not. Just a little bit too much. That being said, there's no reason why I can't just have it move out and then down over here. That'll do. There we go. And then we can have this one join up to it as well. Make sure that we're joining up to the right one. Perfect. And then over on this side, we're going to want to connect up the light oil. This one should actually only be 2 tall. And the reason for that, well, I suppose it would only need to be too tall if I was going to run it under here, which I'm kind of tempted to do. Is it bad of me? I think it would look kind of amazing. It is bad of me. Nevertheless, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care. Right, let's pop you down there and then line this up. And connect up there. Oh, that is not quite where I wanted it. I wanted to go down and connect. There we go. Perfect. Which means that this one can actually just come out and connect in. And in there, I believe. Perfect. That actually, in a way, that looks like quite intentional. It wasn't, but I'll accept it. I'll accept the win. All right, there we go. Let's get you hooked up. Let's get you hooked up. And down here, you've got to be mindful of the fact that connections... Oh, that is 1000% in the wrong place. But you do be mindful of the fact that connectors cannot be too close to one another. For example, I can't put a connector here. I can't put a junction there because it would be too close to too many other junctions. Now, with that done, I'm going to need to bring the oil out in a very particular way. Let's bring it out here and just rise it up to... I could rise it up 3, I suppose. There is no real reason not to, I guess. Let's connect there. And 1 across and then down. Now, the reason why I moved 1 across again is just one of those little quirks of the game. If you take a bend immediately from a joint, it'll make a kind of a banking turn. If anyone that's played Roller Coaster Tycoon, you can probably visualize this much better by imagining a roller coaster with a banking turn versus a flat turn. It means that you can't then create a junction in the same way you might normally aim for. Now, what are we going to do with the diesel? Well, I could simply store it. I could reposition our delivery of diesel for refueling purposes over here if I really wanted to, and perhaps I would like to do that. But if nothing else, let's simply have it be stowed in a couple of storage tanks. And then we can decide what we do with it from there. The main thing is that diesel will be available. Right, so let's have you come out here and we can have it all connect up down here. There will do. And this one can do exactly the same way. Now, am I going to change this at some point? Absolutely. 1000% we will be doing that. But for the time being, that is perfect. That's everything we're going to need. Is it going to take a very long time to get set up? Oh, indeed it is. But that gives us time to work on other things. Now, whilst that's all going down, let's go ahead and get an exploration over there. I really should have sent you away a little while ago, but oh well. How is everything going down here? Probably decently. Let's speed up time. I do apologize for having it slowed down there. I just find that I am so much better able to plan things out properly without everything running around trying to build the stuff as I'm laying it. There are so many times when I will change my mind during the design phase that it ends up saving us time by pausing it and not having to undo a bunch of stuff. I'm a little bit worried about that particular corner there. I think I'm going to err on the side of caution. And let's... Oh, that's a ramp, that's why. Right, okay. Well, we still need this all leveled out, so make sure that happens, please. I'm not quite sure why that hasn't happened, if I'm perfectly honest. But okay, let's get all of that dug down. Perhaps I should go ahead and make a couple of extra vehicles, but for now I could easily just get that delivered. I got the materials, it's just my trucks are way busy moving the construction materials around. This will be for diesel, so will this one, but these ones will not be for export. And same down here, diesel not for export. Right, everything is starting to come together. I'm actually relatively happy with this, though I'm very certain that we are not going to have the kinds of population to sustain this entire setup. We'll see how it goes, I guess, but hopefully we can manage it. But that is an awful lot of building work that they are doing in a shockingly fast time. I'm actually a little bit surprised. I'm reasonably happy with that. Granted, that's not something they can sustain for a very long time. Right, we have discovered a new settlement. And this settlement... well, actually, you know, having a source of wood isn't too bad, because once we've got a setup for the oil rig, that actually won't be terribly hard to make happen. Okay, that's kind of cool. But honestly, the most likely things that we would be purchasing from here are food initially, though that is hopefully going to be something that we will move away from very, very aggressively once we've got corn, and then coal, just because coal is a very finite resource on our map. In the relatively near future, we are going to start struggling. I am starting to notice that our trucks do not have anywhere to place their the wood that they're gathering, so let's help them out a little bit by setting up a rather large storage for wood. Let's pop wood just at the top, set it to only import, and this one should be only export. There we go. And I'm not going to give it any orders on what it does in between, and they should be able to sort that out themselves this way. Alright, how are things going down here? Hopefully we're done. There we are. What fantastic timing was that? Oop, wrong button there. Okay, so we're going to need to move things around then. First and foremost, let's get rid of all of those designations. But secondly, let's re-designate this area. I'm going to want this whole zone under our control. And at this stage, I want you to only allow dirt to be dumped here. And with that, I would very, very much like it if you would simply allow dirt to be filled in these areas. There we go. Do it slowly from one side. Just one side at a time will make it a lot safer for us. But while that's happening, I think the plan for making a road is going to go ahead. So let's start that around here. It doesn't need to be a road that goes anywhere right now. And indeed, I just want a reasonably easy to access area for our trucks to move around in. So that's not going to block the movement of trucks up there, and trucks will be able to move from side to side easily enough as well. So there we go. That should all start moving properly. And as soon as we get all of these built, then our wood trucks will be able to do a fair bit of work there. How are we doing over here? We've got an awful lot of copper that needs to be shifted around. I can only imagine that a lot of that is going to be pulled down here in the very near future. How are we doing down here? We are relatively okay. I'm going to stop prioritizing this to be stockpiled now, and they can start feeding it in there. They have been feeding it in here a little bit anyway, simply because if both of these output at the same time, it has to split. It can't prioritize. But still, that will help out a little bit moving forward. We are almost finished with this, so let's get that one done first. And then I will work on this one. But I'm going to make you a priority... Oh, can I not do that? Okay, fine. I'll make you a priority 3, priority 4, or maybe 5. And then you can be a priority 7. That should mean that they will get complete in the right order. There we are, mechanical power storage complete. Fantastic. That's really the... Like, I won't even bother trying to build a Steam setup until I have that technology. It just doesn't seem to be useful for me in any way. Right, let's see. How are you guys moving around? Hopefully you're going to... oh, maybe you've already started. Yes, you have. Fantastic. I'm very, very pleased with this. And interestingly, they've gone straight down to more dirt. If only we had built this just a little bit further along. But either way, that's actually very useful, because it means we can go down even deeper if we really, really need to, in order to get the dirt that we want to fill this area in. Now, I really would love it if you would empty this out, frankly. So go ahead. No more imports. Dirt needs to be sent. Wow, you did that shockingly fast. Okay. Very well. Well, with that then, let's start excavating up in this direction. And I suppose what we could do is have a way for trucks to access this area. Right there. Sure. Well, hopefully, they've already started doing a bit of work there, but yeah, it's going to take us some time to fill all of that in, sadly. It will take us time. Now, the good thing about the storage here for wood is we're going to be able to clear a lot of these trees very nice and quickly. I'm not going to build anything over here, simply because this is almost certainly going to be dug away in order to give us access to the coal that lays beneath it. But around here, I would very much like to turn that into just water generation, because this is going to be a greedy, greedy colony when it comes to those resources. Right, there we go. Marvelous work. I really do love this, and the fact that you can set up those priorities, just so you make sure that the limited resources get handed out in the right order, basically. How are we doing down here? How's our water? Not great for the water for our copper production. I am going to turn... Well, I'm tempted to turn off water delivery here. How are we doing with food? Actually, you know what? Copper is in a good enough place that I don't think we need to really worry about that right now. But little by little, bit by bit, this is actually getting filled in now. But we've got an awful lot of digging to do, so I shall bring you back when we have filled in all of the grassy area and perhaps even started on laying down our roads. See you in a couple of minutes. Well, for you, a blink of an eye. Did you blink? I certainly blinked many times. Many times, because it took us quite a while. It is now the 19th of December on 0036, and as you can see, we actually had to dig out an awful lot of soil to fill in that little patch. This is 2 layers deep compared to this, but I have designated this area, or rather I had designated this area to be filled in again, and it should be filled in with rock or dirt. I actually don't mind what it takes at this point. Now, as for this area, we will place down the farm in just a moment because we have got diesel production up and running, or rather, you know, slowly coming to life. We lack the water right now to get this running, which is a big problem, as you can imagine. So I actually think one of the first things that we're going to do is we are going to set up a system that will prioritize delivery of water to this straight out of the gate. The way we're going to do that is we are going to place down a little pipe here. That is going to give us the ability to delete this pipe. And then we are going to do the same over here, I think. One there and one here. Well, actually, we're probably going to want to do it a little bit differently. Let's cut that one off right there. There we go. This might not give me enough space, actually. So I think I will go ahead with my initial plan of deleting that as well. There we go. That will remove these pipes. Now, for the time being, that means that these are going to start stocking up on water. But yes, we are in a massive, massive water deficit. And this is going to need to be given a fairly high priority for the water. It's just the way it's going to be. Let's make sure that everything is on priority 2. I would like everything brought over here as swiftly as is possible. As for our diesel over here, not going great. I'm not going to lie. How is the diesel over here? That is actually... Okay, we're going to want to put that one on a 3. Let's make sure our trucks are prioritizing hauling that down here. Oh, my lord, we've got a lot of stuff to do. Right, okay, so first and foremost, I will have this pipe come on out here and straight in there. This needs to be built right away, so let's make that happen. And then we're going to have another pipe balancer. And for the sake of... Well, I can't connect them up directly. That's a bit of a shame. But we should be able to pop a pipe right there to there. There we go. Now, can I get this to connect up? I can. And this one can then connect up back there in much the same way. And everything should work out. Okay, there we go. Only this one do I care about being built immediately. Let's make sure that they are actually prioritizing delivery to this. As long as this is full, then everything else is okay. We are going to need an awful lot of water in this system. That has gotten a little bit there. There we go. Perfect. I mean, they don't need a lot of steam all the time, but we are going to want to get that up and running as quickly as we can. Right, there we go. And then the rest of this can be... I'm sorry, people, but your food, without that, you die. Without water, you just have to use rain barrels. But you survive without the water, so we're going to be going with that one. Right, as of right now, we are actually producing plenty of Unity. One of the things I think we're going to do, we've already got Fuel Saver up and running. I could increase population for the time being, but I think I would rather wait on a couple of other little bits and bobs before we get there. Well, actually, you know what? Maintenance probably is worth me doing. So let's go ahead and drop maintenance as well then. And that should help with a little bit of managing that. Why are you having to take such an incredibly long route? Where are you going? Oh, you're going to gather fuel, right? Of course, yes. That makes a lot of sense. Makes an awful lot of sense, actually. Okay, well, continue bringing the fuel over here. While all that's going on, let's go ahead and decommission these buildings. That one can stay though, because we will use this as our delivery system for fuel. I think we'll make this one into our delivery for diesel, truck import, turn off export, keep that full at all times, make this a priority 3 place to deliver to. This one should be a priority, let's say 4 place to export from. And then once that's done, I just need to collect that pipe up, and we should be golden. On that note, let's get rid of this pipe as well. Don't need that, don't need this. There we are. Thank you ever so much in getting rid of that. Perfect. I say, apparently, spoke too soon. Oh, there we go. Connect that up. I might be able to quick build that. Yes, I can. There we go. So this will now deliver into both of these. Perfect. Let's turn off export there. Let's just make sure that these are kept relatively full. I'm not going to use any kind of priority split here. Let's just make sure that everything is going where we need it to be. That looks like it has solved the problem. This won't last forever though. We definitely need a lot more water coming in, but thankfully that is going to be supplied thanks to the rainwater collectors. But that is definitely something we need to work on. And need to work on relatively urgently, I'm going to say. When there's no time like the present, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, the groundwater pump, we're going to need probably a few of these, if I'm honest. How are we going to store all of this up? Well, we've got some room. Let us say that we set up the storage for water somewhere around here, such that it gets delivered... well, we can have trucks pick it up from over here. Ultimately, I would like it to be delivered by pipe, but for the time being, let's not bank on that one. Also, I need to account for the fact that most of this is going to be dug away at some point, so let's go ahead and place these down here somewhere. So one, no, it's not quite in the right place, and I knew it was going in the wrong place as I was placing it down, which was a bit silly. Let's get 4 of these back to back. That should be pretty solid for now. We're going to want a decent amount of rainwater collection going on. Now, as far as I'm aware, these can more or less exist anywhere in the setup, and it can access the whole area, so we don't need to put these too far away, but let's pop them somewhere, for example, here and here, let's say. There we go. Let's get these on the go. Once that's done, we're going to want plenty of rainwater harvesting. Now, this is the part where I want to get rid of the trees a long time ago. Frankly, I wish they'd already been moved. How much does this produce? This produces 8 per 10 seconds. So one of them, and only one, can carry the burden, can fill a pipe. If I have 2, then there's going to be a certain degree of waste for the second one. So let's get rid of that one for now. And I'm going to want at least this one quick built. Let's get that happening. Now I'm going to plan for eventually having some sort of separation, and indeed a lot more tanks. So let's pop the separation about here, let's say. And I'm just going to see how many more tanks I would be able to fit, if that were the case. Let's place these all the way up. Would that be in the right spot? Yeah, that would be fine. So we'll get rid of these then. Get those out of the way. We don't want those around here just now. We'll bring this up and down and connect it up down here. Let's pop you in there. There we go. Leave room for the second one to eventually connect up as well. And then at that point, we'll bring this all the way down for now into the back over here. There we are. Now what I would like to do is the rainwater pipes will filter into this, and it will give priority to rainwater over water pump water. That way we should avoid the worst that could come from this, and that is that we would exhaust this and we would be using fuel the whole while we would be doing it, but ultimately our rainwater collectors are just full of water that they can't get out. Can we help along? We can. Oh, never mind, they'd already delivered it. Well done. This will need to prioritize incoming progress from marked X, and there we are. This should now start filling these up with water. Perfect. And that should immediately designate what this is. So I'm going to turn off import, turn off export, turn it off all the way along. There we go. And only the last one is able to empty things out. And there we are. That will, in a way, solve our problem for the very, very near future. It's not going to solve it long term, obviously. Right, okay, so with that done, I'm fairly happy with the way that the mining's going. It is time at last for us to place down the final part, the star of this episode, and what we've done all of this work for. Getting ourselves a farm. With that, we're going to want to connect you up as well. So let's do that. I think that should be about right. Yep, there we go. And then over on this side, bit of a problem, actually. Oh dear, are you stuck? Oh dear, cancel. I trapped a truck. How did I trap a truck? Send this vehicle to the nearest vehicle depot. Okay. Alright. You go back to the nearest vehicle depot then. There. Okay, stop cancelling it. Oh, that was hilariously I haven't seen that before. Okay. We're also going to need to adjust this area as well. It looks like we've got 2... How did I end up with 2 trucks stuck over here? Can they not pass through here for some... Oh, no. Well. Take it down. Take it down quickly. We have completely scuppered everything. Quick remove, I guess. There we are. Okay, so that didn't quite go to plan. It's deconstructing. And all of our vehicles are going to be able to move around again. It's going to be great times. There we go. You two have managed to trap yourself. Okay, I've trapped you. I apologize. Everything is going wrong. It's just one of those days. Okay, so with that, let's prioritize filling this in. Let's get this area completely filled in as a massive priority. Hopefully we can get that done relatively soon. And for now, I'm actually going to tell you to stop accepting any items to be dumped down here. Hopefully we will start seeing rocks being delivered over here. That being said, I'm actually going to take one of the excavators off this job. And I'm going to place them on this one with 2 trucks. And we are going to adjust some things around. So let's edit this area. And we can bring it all the way up there. And if I need to, I'll make my own bloody rock. Which is exactly what I intend to do. And we will solve 2 problems at once. Let's go ahead and bring this down all the way. There we go. Right. I mean, our trucks like going that way anyway, so we might as well help them out. And as we gather the rock, it can be dumped down here and start filling in this road. My lord, that was a potch. Way more of a potch than I am happy with. Right, we've got the gas combustion unlocked. Fantastic. Next up, I think we actually need to go for pipe 2. Following that, synthetic rubber. Following that, settlement power. Okay, there we go. My lord, that was quite the pain in the backside. I'm actually going to have to tell you to quick remove this one as well. That's rather expensive use of my Unity, I'll have you know. My lord. Right, we're going to turn off the maintenance there. And I think everything is more or less back where it needs to be. So we should be okay to start reclaiming some of the Unity that we had to spend getting our trucks out of the precarious situation that I'd managed to place them in. I am actually okay with you using dirt to fill this in, so go ahead. There we go. Currently I'm only accepting rock down here though, so I should probably allow slag over here if need be. Right, how are we doing for water? Water is doing okay. How are we doing for diesel? We are actually doing reasonably well. Now, the nice thing about gas combustion, where would that be? That would, oh no, actually it's not under waste. Would it be under power? No. Water? Oh, it is. Oh, well, it's a boiler, of course. Right, now the boiler can replace our current coal boiler. Exactly the same input, but it will use heavy oil or light oil to produce the steam. Now this is particularly nice because that takes a bit of pressure off the coal. And one of these would produce in 10 seconds 8 steam for the price of 6 heavy oil. How much heavy oil do we produce? There's 2 here every 10 seconds, 4 here every 10 seconds. So we'd need another one to be able to produce that steam every 10 seconds. However, this whole process does not actually consume that much steam in 10 seconds, so it would still work out. And perhaps what we could do is instead have the steam take priority delivery from the boiler, which we could set up somewhere around here. I think that would actually be marvellous. So let's go ahead and see about setting this up. We could have water and, well, either heavy or light gas. Which one of these will be used for rubber, I wonder? We have a look over here. It's light oil, which will produce naphtha. Do we use the heavy oil for anything? Doesn't look like right now. Heavy oil isn't used in any of these processes at the moment, but may well be used in some of them later down the road. But for the time being, it looks like heavy oil should be fine. We can also make rubber out of just diesel and coal if we should ever find ourselves in a bit of a pinch. And the recipe to create the naphtha, interestingly, produces fuel gas, which itself can be burnt off to produce even more steam. You've got so many ways of managing this at that point. It's actually kind of impressive. Okay, well, let's go ahead and line you up somewhere around here, I would say. And we'll just have you about there. There we go. We'll place in the same pipeworks. Now, I don't necessarily need to do it like this, but I think this will be a nice way to have them mirror each other. We will have a priority pipe here, so that if I need to, this boiler can kick in and help us out, but under normal operation, it should ideally not need to. Let's bring this pipe across, And we can just connect that up down here then. There we are. Perfect. And at this point, we can have this one connect in. Now, I am going to have to disconnect it, so I will need to wait for this one to kick in first. Now, which one is this? This is the... that will be the heavy oil, which is perfect because we don't actually want to waste the light oil. Let's see, this one is currently getting rid of light oil, this one's currently getting rid of heavy oil. Now, I am going to want to allow this to be dumped because we will actually produce more heavy oil that I'm going to be able to use, I think. Let's have something like that around here, perhaps. Maybe a little bit further down, actually. Right there. So that will work out well. And at this stage, it's going to kind of suck, but let's place a little pipe down here. Now, I don't actually want that. Once again, I'm only placing it there so I can get rid of these. There we go. Now that will shut things down a little bit. Now I'm going to want this one to mirror the conditions over here. So water, no export, keep full, on a relatively high priority. Priority 2, please. There we go. See, this one's being delivered automatically. That is a shame. Actually, one thing we could do, I suppose, we don't actually need this in here. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of this pipe. This one will be for the heavy oil. There we go. That hasn't been taken away just yet. I'll just speed it along. I really like that ability. Right, there we are. This can come out and around. And this one can simply feed directly in down here. Right, with that done, what I will do is I will have this, as you probably already considered, rise up and well, let's actually have it head over like so, and then we can run the whole pipe down. Just as soon as someone comes and collects that, I should have made sure that was already gone. There we go, perfect. This will now give equal priority to each of these areas. In fact, I'm going to just speed that one along. This can pretty much burn any of them, it's fine. I don't mind which. And at this stage, as soon as this is actually done one empty, so let's prioritize the output there. So we should see, there we go. Perfect. Right now, at this stage, we want, that one is directing the right, going in the right direction. Change direction over here. We are now going to want to delete this pipe. There we are. And I'm going to speed her along because I'm impatient. There we are. And now, we simply need this to run around. It's not pretty. It is a very, very clogged up little thing. But prioritize incoming from X, only except from this boiler when there isn't enough steam backed up in the system. But that has made this significantly more self-sustaining. And it's taken a huge burden off the coal deliveries here. We're not going to go through much coal for this boiler at all at this point. I'm really happy with that. And we have drastically reduced the amount of heavy oil that we're going to be burning off in the flare stack. Soon enough, we're going to be getting a decent amount of that light oil also turned into naphtha, which will again give us even more ways of reprocessing the byproduct into extra steam. That is fantastic, if you were to ask me. Let's have a look. That is all going well down there. How are we doing up here? These should be, well, I mean, you know, they're getting filled slowly, little by little. This pipe is pretty much going full bore. As far as goals went, I'm quite happy with what we managed to do. Is this just not getting filled in? Why? Let me try that again. Could we get this filled in, please and thank you? I'm seeing an awful lot of stuff not being delivered. Where are you taking the soil? Oh, that being said, I wouldn't actually notice the difference, would I? No, they have been filling it in. I've just not been paying attention. I am so sorry. There I am, just completely dismissing and invalidating all of your hard work and effort. I am a terrible colony leader, and I will think on this at length between this episode and the next, because we have very much gone over time, but I'm so glad to have Advanced Diesel up and running. We've had a few trials and tribulations in this episode. There have been a few touch and go moments, but overall, I think I am very, very happy with what we've managed to do. Now, we do need to finish off the little dock area, because this is actually spread out a lot more than I was expecting it to get the automated deliveries of crude oil from our dock. And on that note, we actually need to repair the dock, so let's go ahead and start repairs down there, and also we're going to need to start repairs over here. So that's going to be coming in the next episode as well, so something to look forward to. We will be continuing to expand out this area to allow us to gather a lot more water, and once we've got high level pipes, I will pop down a second groundwater pump as well to help out. But bit by little bit, we're going to start filling all of this in. It hasn't turned into the road that I had hoped it to, but we're just going to have to live with that one. I desperately need it to be filled in, simply so that my trucks can get around the farm. I was really hoping to have that up and running, but I will accept that it is a hopefully small delay before we can get that. The main thing is that we could build it, and that is something that I've not done before. I've not resurfaced an area in the game to date, so pretty happy to have gotten that done, and I hope you're happy to have seen it done. But that is going to be it from me, so as always, do leave a like if you liked, and sub if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, everybody.